Why, hello there, sinners, and welcome back. So today, I wanted to, well, how should we say, discuss my former series, as yes, it is cancelled now. The Lost Warriors series. Tragically, I decided the other day that, due to me having no energy at all, I thought it'd be better to just end things now, and then maybe try something new. Maybe do something different. We'll see. Either way, effective immediately, that series is cancelled, as is the campaign. Tragically. However, I wanted to discuss how I felt about it, and if there was anything I'd do differently. So, let's make a start on that, shall we? So, the Lost Warriors series, my last D&D campaign. In many ways, I felt good about it. In many ways, I felt I had issues with it. So, I think I wanted to try and make it a more directed narrative experience. And the reason for that is simple. I wanted to, well, I guess, not go with the open sort of sandbox, because I often felt like it just wasn't working as well sometimes. Only one player would actually want to have a particular goal, and the others just sort of follow. And that's fine. Some people have directions they want to take, some people want to just follow. That's fine. Problem, though, it just means one player does all the leading, and as that player said many times to me, he didn't want to just boss everyone around. So, how I see it, the option to, have a less specific kind of campaign, or more specific kind of campaign, should I say, was preferable. However, it didn't really work out as well as I'd like, and here's why. So, firstly, it didn't really, how shall we say, give that sort of direction I'd have liked, because, and this was partly my own fault, I had a big twist, that being the Lord's daughter, which then caused them to be very unsure of what to do. And that then led to a lot of umming and ahhing about whether they should even continue on at all, which was against the entire point of the campaign, and that I should have better planned when that twist was going to be. It was a good twist, and their reaction to it, was a very meaningful reaction, but I think how I did it and when I did it, yeah, I don't know, wasn't as good as I could have done it, and I had to kind of worm my way out of them just wandering around the entire continent trying to find someone. They had no idea where they were. As I'd not given them any information, because now wasn't the time for it, simply put. But, unfortunately, that's not quite how it worked out. And that's alright. It just meant we had to go a little bit different. I had to kind of figure out, okay, well, how am I going to get them to still go to the old world? And that then led to, okay, she's a dragon, probably shapeshift, and then one's over. That's how I got out of that one. But I ripped myself into that problem, and it's one of those. My head, I said, oh, they'll still keep going. But I have to sometimes remember how my head sees things is not how other people see things, which does make this a bit harder sometimes. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only DM that has this problem, but I know it's an especially prone problem for me because of just how I work, unfortunately. It is what it is, right? But from there, the few other issues, I think, did crop up in that I probably overtuned a few things way, way too much. I thought they would be a bit stronger than they were, and they were to an extent, but not as strong as I thought they were going to be. Not for a while, anyway. And then obviously it meant one of the players, who had a fairly strong build to begin with, then pushed it to the next level and became insane. So then I had to make things to particularly counter him, and live down that spiral, right? That's on me. That's unfortunately because I've created a reputation for myself in that My players are often only 3 steps away from the grave at any point in time, and that's probably something I need to adjust. So, those are some things I think we could do better next time. How about the improvements, though? Because I think things did go better in some respects. The more particular narrative did allow for more direction. There was less umming and ahhing what to do until that one instance. But other than that, there was a clear, here's what we're doing from day one. So, I think that was definitely helpful. So, as I say, it meant that the players had more of a direction, but obviously, well, less of their own, more one I kind of railed for them. But I think a little railroading's okay, as long as it isn't ignoring their decisions, right? Because I think you have to balance it. Because not every party's going to like open narrative, you can do whatever you want. Not everyone's going to like that. It's just how it is, unfortunately. So, to that end, I obviously had to go and sort that out and make sure that, what the balance of, what they sort of wanted versus me sort of being able to tell the story. And I think that was better mesh this time. Because of the nature of the campaign, it had to be more like that, I think. I think if I'd left them to their own devices, they'd have never got anywhere, in some respects, unless one of them decided to take charge, which he very specifically did not want to. And I know later he regretted that, because he felt like he'd become too passive, and it wasn't really him. Which, totally understand. And we spoke about it a few times, and towards the end, we did, he did sort of change that. He found a way around it, a loophole in his own rules. But definitely, I guess that was one of those cases of overcorrection. But hey, we did manage to recorrect, and I think he was having a good time towards the end. Other things that I was quite happy with, I think I managed to mostly do quite a good bit of world building in quite a short bit of time, considering how much land they were covering, the different nations. I was quite pleased with the world building I did there. I'd pseudo-established it before, but now it was more so. If they'd gotten to Hitara, then there was a lot of prior world building there for that. From the campaign before then. And I do look back at that campaign, I'm quite happy with myself at the detail I could put in. To the point where I could go, this part of the city has this, and all that. But whether I'll do a campaign like that, not sure. I'm in a bit of a debate as well where to go as far as later campaigns, but we'll talk more about that later. Some more things looking back at that campaign, though. I think overall, most of it I'm quite happy with. A few things I'm less so. I think again, this probably goes back to the negatives a bit, but there's a few things where I think I could have probably spaced out their encounters more, build up some secondary villains more, these kind of things. And maybe helped introduce things earlier so they can come up later. These were all things that, again, it's something to recognise, but I can still comfortably say I feel like overall as a DM I improved. I think I could handle sudden situation changes a lot better most of the time. Now and then, we all struggle, but I think the improvisation I've definitely gotten better at, which is good. I'm happy with that. The other things, I think, trying new kinds of encounters. I was experimenting a lot with non-spell AoE, because how I see it, I was trying a less magical campaign as far as like them and what they were facing, and I think it gave me a lot of ideas as to like, okay, I feel like I've got some ideas in the future if I want to do another D&D campaign, or another campaign that features magic where I introduce non-magical enemies as still quite a threat. Obviously, some systems, they definitely are still a threat. Like, holy fuck. Some of them really are. Warhammer Fantasy 2nd Edition is a good example of this. Genuinely terrifying. I promise you that now, as someone who's DM'd that. But I suppose to sort of wrap up this rather short video, as I didn't feel like it needed to be too long. Perhaps I may look over all the other videos I've done of this, but that is something I'm glad for, actually. I'm quite happy of how I recorded and documented what we did. My note-taking. That's actually a good point. My note-taking was a lot better. Post-session. Pre-session, it's fine. I've always been able to do that. Post-session, though, massive improvement. Because I wanted to just sort of have a semi-script for videos. And I think that's a habit I want to continue regardless. However, next time, I'd like to DM it live, if possible. I'd like to do so live. That's what I want to do. If we can get that rolling, I don't know. We'll see. It'd have to be in the afternoon, which does mean it would change quite a bit from my normal time. So there is that. Whether I do a stream again later that day, I don't know. Or whether we do like an evening campaign instead. I have to see what they feel about that. Again, I'm not sure. It's a funny one, right? Because I don't want to do it too late, because I appreciate some of them don't want to be up hyper late. And, 3 to 4 hours is about as long as you'd want a campaign session to be anyway. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to have a think. I'm going to see if I want to do D&D as well, because part of me wants to DM something else. Honestly, part of me does want to DM a new thing. Be it Lancer, be it Dark Heresy, be it Warhammer Fantasy again. That would be fun, actually. I don't know. Bear with me on that one. I need to go and have a think. But I guess to actually wrap it up now, my scatterbrained self as I am, in many ways I wish I could continue Lost Warriors, but I do feel as though my creativity towards it was starting to lesser over time. I think how I was doing the journey, I don't know. I maybe should have done it quicker. But in many ways, it's a good learning curve of how I did the journey and what to do next time. But also, it let me try something new and experiment a lot. Especially with encouraging them to play martial characters. To really kind of see, okay, what's the difference between a more magical party and a more martial party? Maybe my next one will do a very magical heavy party and encourage them, hey, could you all be casters? Doesn't matter what caster, just be a caster. And just see what the difference is like. It's something to experiment with. But whatever I do next, you will know about it, as I intend to do it live or document it like I did last time. So however I choose to do so, I'll let you know. But for now, sinners, I will see you soon. Hopefully, by the time you're watching this, I'll have also got a schedule out for my streams the coming week. So, all being well, I see you live later on. But till then, ta-ta for now.